everybody and welcome to my latest YouTube clip, and I'm going to talk about glute bridges, also known as shoulder bridge. And I'm going to give you 2 tips to make them easier to do and then 2 ways to vary them and make them a little bit harder or different. So, glute bridges are really popular exercises, and physios prescribe them a lot for rehab, to mobilise the spine and to strengthen into the backs of the legs and the bottom. So it's a common exercise, but it doesn't necessarily make it easy. So there's 2 things in particular that make them a challenge. The first thing is that people are really tight here in the hips. So if that's your issue and you struggle to get the kind of bottom lift, try having your feet on a wall. So instead of having your feet on the floor, so here's your standard issue bridge. You tuck the tail round the lower back and sequentially lift the spine, and then hey presto, you're into your bridge position. So sometimes it's that tightness there you can't kind of push up. So put your feet on, well, you have to kind of inchworm yourself towards the wall and put your feet on the wall, and then redo the exact same exercise. It's ever so tempting to push into the wall so that you reach that way, but you've got to sort of go up at the back. And honestly, that can be absolutely transformational and enable you to get the openness. The other thing that's kind of an equivalent, but is a bit easier to do, is to use yoga bricks, or you could just use a couple of similarly sized books as well. Does the same thing. So you round your pelvis lower back into the floor, sequentially reach up, send the backs of the legs into the backs of the knees and bottoms up. There you go. So the second thing that can be difficult is if, when you lie down on the floor, your rib cage flares up to the ceiling. Now that's a really common thing when we lie on the ground to do exercises lying on us back. Really, really common. But the thing is, if your back is arched like this when you're lying on the ground, your body thinks, oh yes, we're supposed to do back arching, and therefore your back arches during the shoulder bridge, which is sort of the opposite shape to what you want. Now this is why I've got this kind of weird contraption. I've used a pillow, a blanket and some cushions, and what you can do to address that is to bolster your body to get your ribs to drop back the other way. So instead of them flaring out when you're lying on the back, you want them to soften down towards your pelvis. So you'll have to experiment with this yourself. So this is the kind of what I've got. So I've got my head propped up, my shoulders and my ribs are smoothing down towards the pelvis. So even though you feel quite propped up, it doesn't affect your ability to do, it's not just glute bridge, but lots of lying down exercises. You just have leg bicycles, that kind of thing. Loads and loads of things you can do in this position. And crucially, it means your spine is in better alignment and the rib pelvis alignment is better. So this is what glute bridge would look like from here. So you can see I can perfectly easily do that. As opposed to, let me show you, if you lie down and your ribs flare, there's me with my flared ribs. When I come up, my back's arched, so it carries on arching, so it sort of ends up looking a bit more like that. And we want a bridge that tucks under like this. So see how you go with those modifications, and if you're getting really confident, here's some variations. One of them is, you maybe know, and I just want to cue you with it. So you're coming up into your basic bridge position and then you're doing a foot lift. Honestly, you don't necessarily need a big leg, just the foot lifting will do. And the thing to remember is that the leg that's doing the work is the one on the floor, not the one in the air. So stand into your floor foot, and that
that side of your body is working, and be mindful that you keep your ribs high and you don't let the ribs flare. Did I just say ribs? You keep your pelvis high and don't let the ribs flare. And here's a second variation, and I love this. You come up into your bridge, and then what you do is rotate the pelvis side to side. Now this is fantastic because the sort of side bit of your glutes and the inner thigh get a workout through this exercise that they wouldn't normally get in bridging. So you've got all the other lovely stuff with a bit of extra. So you can rotate, keep the ribs neutral, keep the pelvis high, rotate 5 on either side, and then rest down. So plenty to go out there, and thank you for watching.
Hi there. I do hope you found this clip useful. We've got plenty more on the site, and for now I've suggested another one for you to watch. If you want to know more about what we do in Leeds, then do visit the website at pilates-leeds.com, and right now you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we can do this all again next month. Cheerio!